Hey, what is going on, guys? RvzStealth here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at why Maokai support has the highest win rate for any champion in the game right now, and is starting to see a lot more play recently, especially over in Korea high elo. Currently it holds a 54% win rate in Korean high elo right now, which is pretty insane. Usually when a champion does have that high of a win rate is because very few people play them, and then it skews the win rate. But Maokai actually has around a 5% pick rate right now, which is a really solid sample size. So first we're going to break down why it's strong, then we'll take a look at a couple different builds and rune setups you can run on the pick, because it is very versatile in that regard, and then we're going to finish off by talking about who you should ban when playing Maokai support. So there's 5 different reasons as to why Maokai support is extremely good right now. Number 1 is that he has insane early game all-in threat and some of the best gank assist for any support in the game. I'd even argue to say that he's got the best gank assist for any support in the game, because the flash route onto the enemy AD carry or enemy support followed up by, a Q knockback into your team. It's such good setup. It's very easy to execute, and it just allows yourself to get so many easy kills in the early game and just snowball extremely hard. And then number 2 is that it's got crazy good zone control. Once you do hit the mid game, you want to make sure you arrive to objectives around like a minute before they spawn as Maokai. When a dragon's spawning, especially if you get ahead, arrive there early and just start throwing down your saplings. If you throw down your saplings like in choke points, or just throw them in bushes to where the enemy is going to have to walk through to get to that objective, and it just allows yourself to zone super well, get so much poke off if the enemy team does walk in. If the enemy team doesn't have like a tank who can just like walk through the bush and just tank your sapling damage, then if it's a bunch of squishies on the enemy team, it's going to be so impactful for you to just get so much poke off before the fight even starts. And a lot of the time you can just completely zone the enemy team off of a dragon, because if that poke actually does stick pretty good, if you end up getting like multiple saplings off on the enemy team, a lot of the time they're going to be too low to even walk in and contest. So the zone control this pick does provide is absolutely insane. You can start using this zone strategy as early as level 1 as well in Maokai. You want to start your saplings there at level 1, and this works especially well if you're on blue side. But what you want to do is throw your saplings over into the bush to where the enemy is going to have to walk through to get to lane, and if they walk through that bush, you just get some really nice chunk off there level 1. You get full control of the lane. If they don't walk through that bush though, they're going to have to walk through the river. You could be camping out in the river with a sapling or 2 in that bush there, and you can just look to all in them at level 1 if they come through there. It doesn't work as well on red side. If you throw the saplings into the tri bush, then the enemy can just, they don't have to walk through that bush to get to lane. So it doesn't work as well on red side, but nevertheless you should be looking to take advantage of this level 1 on Maokai and just look for some free poke there before the opponent even gets to lane. And then number 3 is that he just counters a lot of the meta supports that have been on the rise for the past couple patches, especially the Pantheon support. We've seen so much more of this Pantheon support being played. It's a really strong pick at the moment, so if you're having difficulty against it, definitely look to consider picking up Maokai, because Pantheon, right, his engage is very telegraphed. You know what he's looking to do. He's looking to, use Empower W onto your AD carry or yourself, and Maokai just does such a good job at countering those champions. They try to jump on your AD carry, you just root them, you knock them away with your Q, and you just do an amazing job at just peeling for your carry and just keeping them safe. One of the biggest pros to the pick as well here for number 4 is that he's got great engage and disengage. There's so many options with this pick, right? You got your flash route, which you can look to engage. You can just walk up to the opponent and root them a lot of the time as well. Your disengage is also extremely good, with your ultimate. Once you hit the level 6, if the enemy tries to, force something onto you, you just throw down your ultimate. You can completely block off like the enemy team from even getting anywhere near you. So that's a really big pro to the pick as well. And then number 5 is that he does have 2 different really good versatile build paths that he can go for, either the full tank or he can go for AP. So it really depends on, personal preference, depends on the game. So if you're going up against a very heavy dive composition, a very tanky composition, then going for the AP route, it's not going to be as useful because your poke isn't going to stick for as much. If you build a ton of magic resist, then it's not going to be as useful. So you can go like full tank in those scenarios. But if the enemy team is like full squishy, right, if your E is going to chunk them for an insane amount, then you can go for that AP route and have a ton of success with it too. So we're going to break down the 2 different build paths that you should be using on your Maokai support right now. And then for the setup, if you are going for the AP Maokai, your build is going to look like a Spell Thief's Edge start. You want to rush a Liandry's into Morello and then Zhonya's, and then most Maokai supports right now in higher elo are preferring the CDR boots over Sork shoes, but you can go for either or. The Sork shoes are definitely going to be really nice on him because you get the magic pen from, the Sork shoes and the Oblivion Orb. Your E is going to deal more damage, but just having your E on a shorter cooldown with the CDR boots there is also really nice. For your ability maxing, E first, Q second, W last, and in your rune page there, Comet is extremely good. Whenever you hit your E on the opponent, it's going to be a guaranteed Comet proc. You also want to take the mana flow because you're not going to be going for any mana in your build, so it's really important that you do take that. Transcendence is really key there too. You have no CDR in your first two items, so Transcendence, if you go Ionian boots and then you do take the Cosmic Insight in the inspiration tree there, you do end up getting like 25% CDR, so that does help you out at just being able to spam out your E's a lot more in the mid game. And then here's the setup you should be running if you do go for your tank Maokai. So build is going to be a Relic Shield start. You can go for the Ionian boots there. Zeke's Convergence as your first core item just makes your all-in threat whenever you have your ultimate up extremely good. Going for Knight's Vow and then Stone Plate is going to make you super tanky for the mid game. The Aftershock there is 100% what you want to take for your Keystone rune. And then for your ability maxing, the Q first into W second and then E last is what you want to do. When you're playing this tank Maokai support, you're playing him for more of the peel power, the engage, the utility. So having your Q and your W on a much shorter cooldown is what you want, whereas with like the AP Maokai, right, you're more so playing for the poke damage, the zone control with your E, so that's why you do want to max that out first. And then a couple good bans you should consider here if you're playing the Maokai support. The Lulu and the Braum are really good options, especially the Lulu just because she's played a ton right now in the meta. Once she hits the level 6, she does a really good job at just shutting your engage down, right? She's got the polymorph, the shield, her ultimate. It's just very difficult for you to get onto a target and burst them out against Lulu, so that's a great ban option. The Braum there too, with his shield, with his ultimate, his disengage makes it difficult for you to jump onto your target. And then if you are going for the AP Maokai support, banning Sona or Soraka is a really good choice because their heals just really shut down your ability to have that poke stick in the mid to late game, right? If you end up throwing your saplings down in bushes in the mid to late game, the enemy squishies walk into them, then Soraka heal or Sona heal just completely kind of negates that, and it just makes it so that your poke and makes it so that going AP Maokai support is definitely a lot less useful. So if you're going for that AP, Soraka or Sona ban is a really good option. Alright, so that is going to be all for the video, guys. That is why Maokai support has been on the rise for the past couple patches now. He's seeing a lot more play recently, especially over in Korea, and he's probably going to start to even see more play over the next couple patches here, so definitely consider picking him up before he does get banned or before he does come to meta. But with that being said, guys, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you have yet to already. So thanks for watching, have an awesome day, and I will see you in my next video.